Welcome back to another Dynodaze video, and as you can see, Uncle Keith's supercharged Honda Civic FN2 in glorious Milano red. Now this one has got some modifications that we'll run through at the end of the video, but yes, it's got boost. Let's make some power. Where's our Keith? Let's take a photograph of him with his car. Action.
Action?
Yeah.
I don't normally say that.
Do you want some action?
That's a whole other thing, isn't it?
This car's full of action. Look at this graph.
I suppose I can't really see the numbers on that.
Well, let's tell them about the numbers. This finished on 416 brake horsepower.
Very impressive.
That is impressive. Keith's impressive.
To be fair though, there's talk that this is a hybrided supercharger. It's been sent off to another company and had some race bearings put in it, apparently.
Is it really?
That's
it's like a 7+7 something or other with a different colour on it.
What
is that why it tears arse then?
Well, me and Keith had a real good chat this morning and said it definitely feels loads better in the mid-range. Now, we didn't necessarily change anything hardware related. The only difference was that from the previous owner, it's had the inlet manifold changed, and the inlet manifold was changed, and the boost pipe that ran from the throttle body down to the intercooler was basically like too long, and it was the wrong shape. Although it worked, it was a bit of an angle, and it pushed the intercooler down a bit of an angle. So Keith said, "Oh, can you level the intercooler up and then obviously just redo the pipe if you need to do it?" So redid the pipe. Something that I noticed was that the boost pipe was only very, very fractionally inside the silicon. I mean, probably about 5 mil inside the silicon, and it hadn't got any beads on the pipe. They just like sort of lifted the edge.
So maybe you were losing a bit of it.
Yeah, bent the edge of the pipe up a little bit.
Yeah, we said that this morning, didn't we?
So we were sort of agreeing that we were losing a bit of boost there, which is why it feels like it's perked up in the mid-range. Keith said the dump valve sounds a little bit different and a few other things. Now, bearing in mind, we actually made no hardware changes, apart from obviously sorting that boost pipe out. So we're thinking maybe it was leaking from there, and that's what's picked up some in the mid-range as well.
And what do you reckon, Keith? What's your verdict?
It feels much smoother and much more drivable. And just faster everywhere.
Yeah, people forget about that, don't they? The drivability of the car
is also important.
Just as important.
Because before in traffic, I was, you know, when you come into a stop and then you get a little bit of, like a judder, like it wasn't.
That's as straight as line as you can get. That's total linear power.
But admittedly, though, that is what we're talking about there is peak power and wide open throttle. That's all the dyno shows you. Obviously, what Keith's saying there is in the real world of driving around in some traffic, start-stop traffic, driving around, you know, you just want to accelerate past something a little bit, so your mid-range power and everything. That's what he's sort of noticed. I mean, it has made more peak power, or we believe it's made more peak power. From where we started, I think, where did we start?
380.
Was it 380 where we started? Yeah. So we did make a little bit of peak power. But again, it was mapped on Honda. We're not exactly sure who mapped it originally. We did remove the Honda and then mapped on ECU tech, because obviously we did the ECU already had a license on it, so it just made sense for us, as that's our software of choice anyway on these. So we sort of did that,
of course,
which then obviously allows you to be able to sell the box on and make some money back from that. So
it's win-win for you, mate.
And you pointed out, didn't you? I got as much power as you at...
Yeah, that's somewhat depressing for me, because at about 5,400 RPM, this car I'm sat in now, Uncle Keith's Supercharged Radar on, so at 5,400 RPM, he's got more power than my NA FN2 and a whole nother car's worth of power after that. So I shall not be going up against Keith at a race. And we had a bit of a convoy play, didn't we, the other weekend?
It was good fun, wasn't it?
And it was like a Harrier jump jet, this thing, compared to mine. But don't get me wrong, I love mine, I love NA power, but this is VTEC on steroids, and I think everybody needs a bit of this in their life.
And it's more faster now.
Now, you compared this, didn't you, to the turbocharged K20 you've driven recently?
Yeah, I think there's two sides to it, isn't there? I mean, the turbo one with the big power, mid-range, would monster you. But at the same time, all you're getting is wheel spin.
Yeah, you don't get the thump.
You don't
like
get,
that.
you get a lot of wheel spins. There's a lot of wheel spins, there's a lot of scrabbling, there's a lot of fighting with the steering wheel. So there's a lot going on, and it feels aggressive is the way I would use it, would way to describe it. But you sort of get this at like 420, and it rips, because it not only puts the power down in the mid-range, because you don't have that big thump of boost and torque, power and torque in the mid-range. So then it's more linear. So it's one of those. If the turbo one had grip, then obviously it would monster it in the mid-range. But the reality is, especially in this country, as we're all finding out this year, 9 out of 10 times it's wet, it's drizzly, it's not the best weather, the ground's probably a bit damp or whatever. And the reality is you can't put it down.
Yeah. How are you getting on with them tyres, Unirolls?
Yeah, fine. They feel
I
really
think they're a good choice.
Yeah.
In this application, very good choice.
Like you're saying, most of the time it's damp or a bit greasy or... So
damp and greasy.
I think they're a good choice.
Good all-round tyre.
Yeah.
Awesome car. Awesome. Should we go show the graph on the computer?
Yeah, you can do.
All right, let's do that. Peace out. And there we have the finished result. Look at that for a graph. Absolutely powerful and linear, as you'd expect. Finishing on 416 brake horsepower, 360 at the wheels, 258 foot-pound of torque. What a car. So thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, guys. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. I'm dead made up for Uncle Keith, because this car is immense, and so is he. We'll catch you all on the next one. What a car. He's made up with that.
Pretty fast.